Oh, we already have some people there too.
Nice.
All right, and it's streaming from here, so we'll just let it sync up and let a few more people drift into the room. Hi, Joyce. Good to see you today.
Yay. I'm just gonna move these papers out of the way real quick.
So pretty. It's so like bright and colorful and happy.
Very happy.
Yeah.
We've got our pure papers. Here. And here. Of course, it's not necessary for the project, but it's nice to have that information. There we go.
I love the variety of colors going on.
Have fun, and these actually, some of these papers are painted because I didn't, in the pack you don't have enough green, so I just painted some with some craft paint. So we'll talk about that. I won't paint it in the video, but at least people, yeah, we can make it happen for anybody who needs it to happen.
I like how you made that leaf too, because it looks more realistic. It has a little bit more personality.
Right, and this was actually some paper, and one side had color on it, and the other one was green already, and I just kind of softened the color a little bit. It would be fun to try doing these two out of just this kind of paper, just plain like book pages and things like that. That's going to be fun. And having Gel X-treme, it's going to be fun to play with those.
So I think it looks like we have 10 people who are with us right now. So I think I'll just say a few things to get us like rolling into the demo, and then I'll turn it over to you, especially because it's recorded. So anybody can always come back, watch where they left off or where they jumped in. They can pick up from the beginning. So today we're going to be doing this really fun origami tulip demo. Great for anything, but especially for Mother's Day. And Karen's going to be using our pure origami paper, which you could see up. She has it out too, or she had it out earlier. I'm sure there we go. It comes in 100 colors. So you get one sheet of each different color. It's available in a standard size or a cute little mini size. We also have some other packs like a red assorted colors and a blue assorted colors pack. And then we're also going to learn how to make these really cute watercolor cards. And Karen's going to get to preview some new and exciting items that we're going to be introducing later this year. So here's a sneak peek. You're seeing it here first. And let us know if you have any questions. Just drop it in the comments. I'll be keeping an eye on that, and I can read your comments aloud to Karen so she can answer live. And I think that's it. So Karen, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Phoebe. This is so much fun. I've been making these for a few days now because, I'm making myself my own Mother's Day bouquet. This is going to go on the table. These are very simple tulips to make. They're probably the easiest flower I've ever made, and they're just so cute. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to fold the tulip, my first one, out of a 6-inch sheet because these are folded out of 3-inch sheets. And I think it might be a little small for us to, for me to show you. But let me tell you what you need. And if you have a pencil, write this down. And I'm going to even put this here on the screen so you can see what sizes you need. So to make the tulip, the tulip size is a 3-inch sheet of paper, 3-inch square. And then the leaves are 2 inches by 6 inches for the stem. I'm sorry, the stem. So you can get 2 stems and 2 leaves out of 1 green sheet. So that's just, and I'll show you, it's basically here's how you break it down. So two stems, and then you can cut to have 2 leaves. So really 1 green out of that pack can get you 2 stems. So that's just that you'll need. And then, so here's let me grab this one here. That's the one I'm going to make. Okay. So your leaf is going to be a half of the sheet. And you have that's to make a tulip. So you've got 3-inch, 6-inch, and a 2-inch, half of that to make your whole. This is going to be a tulip, and that's all you need. But you also need a skewer if you have something skinny or a knitting needle, something like that. a little glue. I like this art glitter glue, dries really fast. I like it. It's got a nice small tip to it. And that's all you need to make the tulips. Now, to make the card, you're going to need a 6-inch square. So pick a 6-inch square. It could be it could be the pure paper. It could be already printed paper, some gift wrap, anything that you've got, or some decorative origami paper. Today, I think I'm going to do like a kind of this green color to make the card. And then to make the actual watercolor card, I used, and I'm going to preview just a little bit because I love these things. This is the paper that Yasutomo is going to be, it should be coming, and I will have Phoebe tell you the time when it arrives, but it's a 5x7, 140-pound, 300 GSM cold press watercolor paper, and it's not a block, it's just a nice pad, and it's really nice paper. So what I did is I cut, it's the card is going to be made out of a 2 7/8 inch this way by 5 inch, and I cut it out of this paper. So that's the card. And then of course so this is all you need for it to make all the really components you need. And then I've got this paint. I'm so excited. We have a Niji Premier. It's more like, it's professional grade. I'm telling you, it's not a student grade watercolor. It's really nice. This set here is what I'm going to use today. It's because we're calling it the essential set. And if you notice in the pan, it's all dark, right? You don't see any light colors, but you'll see why these colors were especially chosen. This is a beautiful mixing yellow. There's a mixing brown. There's beautiful reds, purples, blues, and greens, including Payne's gray and indigo, but they're so mixable. And that's why you don't need any other color. Or any other paints, but we're also going to have this set too, which is really exciting. This is has everything you ever wanted in a watercolor, and you just don't need anything else. So those are a preview. I wanted to share those with you because they're really exciting. But I'll be using this one today. Yes.
And then I just wanted to comment real quick. I did drop in the measurements of the paper in the little comments chat section, and I pinned it in case anyone needs to check that out. And then the watercolor paper pads and tins that Karen just showed us, thank you. We're expecting to receive those at our warehouse in August. And then after that, it'll be hitting the shelves of retail stores soon after that.
Awesome. Thank you. Great. So I'm going to start the fold with a large sheet just because it's a little small. And then it'll shrink down to the 3-inch. This is the 3-inch tulip already finished, but I'm going to just demonstrate it with the 6-inch for ease for you to really be able to see. If you want to make one with me, the little one, please do it with a 3-inch. Just do it with a 3-inch. So if you have paper that's not color on both sides, you're going to start your fold with the, I'm trying to remember how you color side together. So you're going to fold, that means you're going to fold, if you have a pattern side, make it side up to start. So we're going to fold and try a corner to corner, point to point here. And you're going to open it up, turn it, and fold it point to point again. It's kind of hard to see with the double-sided full color, but the reason I love this pure paper, it's so gorgeous for this kind of thing because it is colored all the way through, and you'll notice there's no white on the inside, so it really shows the flower. It shows off the flower. It's great for flowers and modular, so it's thicker than normal too, so it's a lot more sturdy. So what you also have now is I've got the valley folds here. I'm going to turn it over. So now these folds are now mountains, and I'm going to fold in half in both directions. It's really important that the folds that you have, the first folds, that these diagonal folds are mountains. So you can see we are just opening it up, and you can see these are mountains. This is a valley. Very important. So now I'm going to turn it. I'm going to bring this fold right up to, I'm going to basically fold it in half again. I'm just going to go up here. Now what I have is I probably should, well, actually kind of thinking I was wrong on the color side thing. What you want though is if you have paper that is patterned on one side, only color on one side, you want this side to be colored because this will be the inside of the tulip. So now I'm going to collapse this on all four sides so that it turns into a sort of a square with flaps on either side, 2 flaps on either side. This is a very basic origami base. You'll see it will look like this. And now to make the tulip, this is the fun part. There's so many ways you can make your tulip more narrow at the top or wider at the top. And I'm going to show you the difference. See, I have a wide and more narrow. Oop, there we go. You can see it there. Now this is determined, this shape is only determined by what I'm going to do next. So if you want a tulip that has more of a bud-like look, you'll fold it at more of an angle, and I'm going to explain that. So what I have is I've got a closed end and an open end here. You can see open end, closed. I'm going to start this one layer, this fold. I'm going to bring it to that center, but I'm going to do it at an angle. Instead of going straight across, which we are tempted to do straight across, that's going to give us a more open flower. But if I angle it downward, I'm just going to take it and I'm going to pivot it down, and I'm going to angle it down, and then I'm going to crease. And I've got this shape. You can see that it's sort of in an angle. That's what we want to do. That's going to give us this nice shape. So I'm going to take the next flap, top flap only, and I'm going to match it to the last fold I just made at that angle. So it's got this interesting angle. You can see more narrow here, wider down there. So that is, that's that fold. I want to do the same thing on the opposite side. So I'm turning it over. And now I have this solid area. And I'm just going to repeat exactly what I did underneath. Just kind of look at this that's underneath and match, just make it match. That's probably the best way to do that. So it's matching what's underneath. And I'm going to take the other one, and on a small piece, it's going to be a lot different. You've got to really, with a small piece of paper, you need to be nimble. But the bigger piece, a bigger flower. So now I'm going to take that and I'm going to fold it towards that center, just like to match what's underneath. And that's that. So there, and I've kind of went over a little bit. It's funny, I'm having a harder time with the bigger sheet than I am with the smaller sheets. So what I want to do is take this, and I've got these little pages. I'm going to turn this page to the right, from left to right, until it's solid. They're solid on one side. I'm going to flip this over, the whole thing over, and then I'm going to turn the top layer only to reveal a solid side. So now you can see I have 2 solid sides here, right? 2 flaps on each side and solid. I'm going to take the bottom, not the top where the open end is, but the closed end. And I'm going to fold a little tiny, like a tiny little angle towards the center, but I'm not folding it all the way in. I'm just folding it to about the halfway point, halfway between this crease here and here. And I'm going to do the same on both sides. Just kind of make a crease, really tight, nice crisp fold. Use a bone folder if you have one. So I'm just kind of created that. It's not going to the center. It's just basically in about halfway there. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to fold the same thing. I'm going to do just kind of follow what I did on the other side. Just make the same fold that matches what's underneath on both sides. Yeah, there we go. So now what I have is this tulip shape. Now this is where we need a pair of scissors. Very small pair of scissors, and you're going to take a little nip off the back. It's just a tiny, you can see how little that was. And what that's going to do is give me some place to make put the stem through. So now I'm going to just take this whole thing and open it up very gently. I'm going to go in, and I'm going to just open the top up, just kind of gently open. And then I'm going to put my fingers inside the flower, and I'm going to push these little sides out. And I'm going to do this on all 4 sides without unfolding anything. I'm just pushing the sides outward, just trying to open up that inside a little bit. Yeah, so there it is. That's a big tulip. But that is kind of what you want to do with the smaller. You want to just take your fingers and gently push outward to make till that shape kind of forms a rounded shape, rounded tulip shape. There it is. So then I'm going to keep pushing out until these little points are rounded. So now I have a nice shape, flower shape, the tulip shape. And what I would do to round out these, you can take a skewer and just take the points and just curl the ends just a little bit. You don't have to do much, but just enough to give it a little curl. And you can do that on all four sides. Just a little, kind of a curl. It will be different on the smaller sheets. So I think with this bigger one, I've maybe used a pin, but still, these skewers are handy for that because they give a nice curled edge. Now I just want to show you, if I put a skewer through this, you can see I've got a stem, right? But we want to make this more paper, just pure paper. So instead of using a skewer, which I could glue this up and then paint the skewer, that'd be great. But I want to make the stems. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to make a stem for this little flower because that's the one I made it for earlier. What I need to do now is take the strip of paper 2 inches by 6. And what you're going to do is take your same skewer, because these little skewers come in handy. If you have, like I said, a long knitting needle, something really narrow, it's much better to have something really narrow. What I'm going to do is take this paper and I'm going to hold it at an angle, really severe angle, right like this. And I'm going to start this curling. I'm going to just roll this paper and it's going to take a little bit of work to just start getting that nice tight roll fit. But I want that angle to be just really angled because then the more of an angle I have, the longer the stem I have. So I'm going to just start rolling nice and tight. I don't want it to be, loose. I want it to go around really tight around that skewer. I'm just going to do it and try to make it even because it does tend to, as you roll, it might want to get kind of flare out a little. So I'm holding it in my hand very evenly, pressing the same amount of pressure along this. And it takes practice to do this, by the way. So don't be surprised if it's not doing what you want right away. Now, if it's not doing it, you can just take it apart and restart rolling again. So let me show you what I mean. So it's kind of curling nicely, but you can always start it over if it doesn't feel tight enough. So I'm just going to go ahead, get a good start with that nice tight roll. And then as you roll it, it should start to roll quickly. So then, because it goes really fast, it's a very short piece of paper. It's not too long. So there, I'm just going to kind of roll and kind of just keep that tightly rolled. And I'll see mine's flaring out a little bit at the end. And if that happens, that's okay too. It's all good. I'm going to try tightening it up a little bit more. It does, like I mentioned, it does take practice to do this one, but once you get the hang of it, they're really fun and it can go kind of quickly. So it feels really nice and tight right now. Just going to roll it. And then as I finish it off, actually, I should just hold it in my hand the right way. This is the way to do it. Hopefully you can see it. There we go. Just rolling. Now, as I get close to the end, which I am close, I'm not there yet, but I'm close. I'm going to put a little glue right at the corner. Not much, just a touch. Doesn't need a lot. And I'm just going to just roll it slowly. And then with my finger, kind of hold it down, kind of roll it. Let that glue kind of seal that corner. And I'm just going to hold it just for a little bit, not for very long, but enough time to let that glue bond to the paper. And it does nicely. The pure paper it just seems to take glue really nice too. Now I'm going to take my skewer off, and now I have a stem. One is worn, I have a little bit more narrow in one end, but that's fine. It's going to look just fine. Now for my leaf, that's not the same color. I'm going to try to get the same color. The same color right there. The leaf is really easy and really fun. If you want to draw it out, we can draw it out, but I always just do it by hand. I just do it by eye. I'm going to fold the leaf in half lengthways, or fold this piece of paper in half. And that's this. Okay, so now I'm going to cut. But you can draw if you want ahead of time. In fact, I'll do it just really quickly with a pen, just to kind of give you an idea of what I mean, but how it would look. I'll do it with a different piece of paper since I do plan. I'll do it with this lavender so you can see. Oop, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm going to do it with another piece of paper. I'll just do it with this and I'll explain what I mean. There. So if you're going to do this, if you want to draw it first, go ahead and make your base a little bit wider and just kind of long like that. That's all you need to do. And just really be free with it because they'll always look great no matter what. But I always make this a little wider at the bottom, and like I make it really pointy at the top. So I'll show you what I just do it by eye. So I'm just going to make a little cut here, but I've got a slightly wider. And tulip leaves are kind of long. They're not really wide. They're kind of long and skinny. So here is my little, that's a tulip leaf. It looks good enough. And you can make it even longer if you wanted, if you had longer sheets of paper. So the next thing is I always like to take my leaf and kind of condition it a little bit, get it ready for putting on the stem. So I kind of take my finger, move it so that it's got a slight curve. This is the area I'm going to glue. So I'm just going to take, I think that's the same color. Yep. And if it's not, doesn't matter. It's close. So it's not the same color, but it's going to look great. So there's, I put a little glue at the bottom, and then I'm just going to decide where I want to put that, maybe right there. And then I'm just going to take it and gently kind of hold it in my hand. And I'm just going to pull, curl it down. Oops, I kind of wrinkled it there. Now it's perfect. And I'm just going to hold it just for, not for very long. And just hold it for a little while. Oops, I have it on that stick. No wonder it's not the same color. All right, so what I just did, that's what I did. So that's my orange one. I'm going to put that in my base because it's done. But I'm going to take that same green, if I can find it. Oh, that's this green. Okay, I found it. I'm going to cut that piece of paper. There's the right green. And I'm going to cut it with my cutter. So there's nothing lost. You probably saw me going, why is she putting that on the orange one? So I'm just going to cut this to 2 inches. And this time I'm going to make a long leaf just for fun because I haven't tried it. Making a longer leaf for this little vase. It won't be too long, but I just want to have the option to make it longer. So I'm going to go ahead and start down here and just kind of make a long, more of a tulip-like leaf and just see how that works. This I could probably use it for another leaf. And here is more of the tulip-shaped leaf, nice and long. I like that. Something a little different. And now I've got the right color. And so you don't want to put your leaf on. This is why I was misleading you. I was putting, the best thing to do is to put your tulip in, get that one on before you put the leaf on. So what I'm doing is I put the narrow edge of my tulip, I'm putting it through, and I'm going to put a little glue right on the edge, right on this tip here. And as I draw it down, I'm just going to keep my eye on it, and I don't want to go past. I just want to kind of meet just where that glue just barely touches the base, and that holds it together really nice. That's how we want to do that. And now I'm going to take this stem and I'm going to bring it, I'm going to make it more, I'm going to glue it down here, down at the base. So I've got my little, like this, just a little touch of glue is all you need. And then I'm going to put it a little farther down this time. And you can make it go at an angle if you want. Oops, there we go, it's on the camera. You can make it go at an angle and then just kind of hold it. And that long leaf really looks more like a tulip to me now anyway. So that is how, and just kind of hold it together just for a little bit, and it holds really nicely. And there, I love that one. I think that's really pretty. So now, and you could put a second leaf on it if you want to really, if you have more greenery, you just try this. I've not done this before either. I love trying new things. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to make another leaf, another skinny one, maybe as skinny as I can go. I'm going to have to kind of stop right there because that's all I had. Maybe I could put a second one also on that. So you really could, there's really no limit. Like you can add more leaves. I think that's pretty too. So I'm going to put that right here. Just a little right at the bottom, maybe at a slight angle. So really, it's fun how you can just create the look that you're looking for. Change it up a little. So these here, you can see how I just have it here like this. So really, it just depends on what what you want. But I think the one now on the left is more tulip looking than this one on the right. So longer leaves. So maybe you're, kind of play with those. Kind of play with the length of your leaves and have fun with those. So that's the tulip. So make several. So like I've got all of these in a base and different colored leaves, different colored stems, different colored flowers, and different lengths. If you wanted to make cut your base a little bit, have a slightly shorter, just trim the base of your stem, and you've got, you can adjust that as well. So There you go. So then you've got your little beautiful vase of tulips. And you can see when you look inside, the color paper just really is pretty from all angles. So that's that. So, and then if you have whatever you have as a vase. So let's make the card. Is everybody good on the, I'm hoping you're good on the tulip. And
Let us know in the comments if you need to see anything again. Oh, Anita says she loved how you rolled the green paper on the stick and used the stick as a form.
yes.
Yes, I agree.
Yes,
Some
absolutely.
really makes the whole tulip so finished. Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome too. And you can also, if you don't want to do the, if you don't have enough green paper, because green paper is hard to come by actually. And if you don't, you can either paint paper that you already have with some green, or you can paint your sticks with the green. So there's all kinds of options to make those. And then with these sticks, you can stick them in foam, you can do an arrangement that way. So here's my little big, huge tulip. I'm going to put that aside. And now we're going to start on our card. So what I have is just a little piece of watercolor, and I don't remember which side's which, but I'm going to just use that side. And what I do, instead of folding the card first, I'm going to paint it. I'm going to paint it first so that I don't have to think. I'm not thinking I'm going to put this behind a green. I want to kind of go off the edges a little bit, or go, just kind of off center rather than being perfect. So I have some water. I also have some water brushes with me. I'm going to just grab a regular brush. I have, we're working on getting Western brushes, but we're getting them soon. So, but I do have my list of round brush. It's a silver, my wonderful paints. Now I'm going to show you. I'm just going to make a really simple tulip. And it's actually so simple. It's more simple than the actual flowers. And I want it to match my bouquet. So as a gift, I'm going to give myself this for Mother's Day. So I wanted to match my a bouquet that I've made already. So I'm just going to mix up. These are the three. There's a purple, like a purple lake, rose, I think is a permanent rose, and a alizarin crimson. I think those would make really pretty colors to go together. And I'm just going to do like making a tulip shape, which is really very, I'm just going to be really loose. I'm going to just do like a kind of a oval shape here and another oval shape here, just kind of like this with my watercolors. And then I'm going to drop in some, just a little bit of this beautiful, down at the base, I'm dropping in some purple lake and maybe a little bit at the top, just kind of to give it a little dimension. And if I wanted to, I can make another little line in here just to kind of make it tulip looking. It's really simple shape, it's kind of just an oval or a football shape. I don't know what it is, but it's just very simple. Now we're going to take another one. I'm going to do two of them. This one will be just a little bit smaller or maybe a little bigger, just depends. But it's just a round, it's kind of an oval shape right here. And I'm just there, not too, I'm trying to be loose. I don't want to overdo it. So just an oval shape, kind of with a rough edge, kind of a rough edge at the ends here. And I can drop some color. Same thing. I'm going to drop a little purple lake down at the bottom just to give it some dimension a little bit at the top. Now I like this is what's happening here. I can also just kind of draw this up a little like this. Just kind of have some fun, make, the flower shapes. Now this is where I'm going to make the stems. Tulip stems, you can see, are very thick, just when you looked at them. And I'm sure, Phoebe, you've got some beautiful tulips in front of you. You can see how thick the stems are and how long the leaves are.
Let me share them. Oh, sorry. I realized I didn't have my cell phone.
Oh.
Sorry. Here we go.
There you go. Yeah, definitely. Show those. Oh, yeah. Okay, so look at
my
those.
beautiful tulips. Gail in our office,
those.
we're office mates. She brought tulips for all the mamas in the office. So thank you, Gail.
They're beautiful. Thank you, Gail. And yeah,
this is my tulip that I folded. So I'm gonna
look at that. Yes.
Yeah, I was a little slow, so I used tape because I couldn't find my glue in time.
I love it. I love it. So now while these still are wet, let's take our green. So we've got and if whatever you have watercolor wise, you can take just kind of mix together some watercolors make some green. And if you notice, this green looks really bluish. And I noticed in your stems, you had some gold or yellow. I'm going to use this new gamboge. It's a gorgeous yellow, but it looks kind of brown in the thing. But I'm adding that, and look how yellow I added it, and it just became this gorgeous green. So now I'm going to just take the stem and I'm going to bring it from the bottom up towards the top. And I'm not going to make it too curvy because tulips don't have a lot of that. So they're kind of thick, you know, they're on the thicker side. So I'm just going to go a little bit thick like this. And I'm going to bring the same, I'm going to bring this stem up from the bottom up to the, just to barely kiss the bottom of that flower. I want some of that green to go in there. I'm just going to do a little bit, make it a little, just kind of a thickish line like this. Now you notice that if you notice your watercolors are going to start to merge together. That's what we're looking for. And if you wanted to add a little, just touch a little bit of those two colors together at the base, just to kind of deepen the stem area, that's awesome. And now I'm going to take the same color, mix a little yellow with it, and I'm going to make some really long, pretty leaves. And this time I'm just going to do one that kind of comes off of this, kind of like our tulip that we just made, except this one's going to go off to the off the page like that. And this one is going to go up and kind of bend up like this, kind of just kind of above, and it's going to go on the other side of the card, because when I fold it, that tulip leaf is going to be showing, it's going to be on the back side of the card. So this is where you would just add some more of green and just kind of make it loose, and no worries about it being exactly looking like a tulip. But it just gives the impression of one. Now, another thing I love to do is I'm going to spatter some colors, and I'm just going to grab a sheet of paper so I don't mess up my whole table. I'm putting it underneath. This is what, when you're spattering, you do need to give yourself a little room. Yeah, I'm going to give myself a little bit of room right here. And I'm going to take some of the pink color that I already have. Maybe I can just add a little bit right here. And I'm not going to use much, but just a little pink, because I think it's pretty. And I'm just going to kind of spatter this all over. And I'm going to be really more generous at the top, because I want it to kind of go into the flowers a little bit. And then maybe some of that pretty alizarin crimson, or I could use some of that purple lake. Let's see. And just kind of up at the top area, so that you're really getting a nice spattering on the top. And then I'm going to do on the bottom, I'm going to do a blue, kind of a blue color, maybe some phthalo blue here, or some ultramarine. And the reason I'm doing this, I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the green so that it kind of mutes out some of that. And I'm just really spattering, really more concentrating at the bottom where the leaves are, where they start. So I've got this, you know, nice green going here, and then the pink coming down. So if I mix the green with this flower, it'd make it look muddy. So that's why I avoided that. And here it's okay to have spatterings of the green on the leaves, because it looks like it's supposed to be there. So there, I've got my card cover done. Now the inside, of course, I have to wait that for this to dry. I can also do things like, you know, I could take my brush and just move it around. I think I'm just going to leave it like this, and I should wait for it to dry, but I can't wait for that to dry. Let's see, what can we do? I think I need a heat gun. Well, I'm going to do this on another piece of paper, so I don't have, I'm going to put this aside for now. And then I'm going to grab another sheet. And this is one that I already kind of got started, but that's the inside of the card. And now what I'm going to do is a little hand lettering using the paints that I already have. So I've got my little brush, my water brush here, and I'm going to mix kind of the same colors that I had. And I'm going to call, you know, I can put mom, I can put, I'm just going to do I love you, because I think that's universal. So I'm just going to do a letter here, and I'm going to do it kind of loose and brush, just a brush lettering. And while here's the I, and what I'm going to do is, after I've made the eye out of the purple, I'm going to drop the blue down at the top and the bottom, and I'm going to let that just kind of merge. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab kind of wet. I've got water in this brush, but I'm using this water because I don't know why I should be using it here. So I'm cleaning the brush out. Here we go. So there's the eye, and then there's the love. I'm just going to same thing, pick some of this purple color up, and not a whole, not too concentrated. This time, because I realize I don't have room to write the word love. So I'm going to make a little heart. And there we are, like that. And then I'm going to just fill it in with a little pink. I think that'd be pretty. just kind of have fun with this. And then I'm going to just leave it. I think I'll leave that alone. Or I could put some of that blue, just drop some of that blue here and there just to kind of let it be. And then I will now do my lettering for the other parts. So I'm going to do the purple again, this purple lake. And this time I'm just going to write you. But I'm doing it with, I'm going to go with a very wet brush. I'm going to just go wet and very light for now. And then I'm going to add the color. So just going to put a little drop color up here. This is the blue up here. Drop it up there. And then just let those colors, of course, that kind of dried fast. So what I could do is bring these down a little bit just so that I fill in that area dried real fast. I kind of want to make sure your brush is nice and wet when you're doing this so that the colors will work together. They'll dance together. They mix themselves. See how the blue, the eye really mixed really well. So when in your own handwriting, it doesn't have to be fancy calligraphy. I mean, people want to, you know, I think the hand lettered by your own hand, even if you think you don't have the best handwriting. Now, if you want to make it more interesting, you can thicken this, like I'm going to thicken this area here where the downstrokes are. And that looks more like a calligraphy. So my little faux calligraphy. Just thickening those little areas changes the lettering quite a bit if you wanted to do that. And then just let that dry and close it up. Let's see if this one is, it's not ready yet. So what you have then when you're done, here's the finished one, since I'm not going to make you wait for that to dry. Here's my finished one. I have a little lettering, and now I need to make an envelope. So this, because the card, I've got a treat.
Before you move on to that, could you, like, I'm sure your palette, it's wet, obviously it's wet, but could you like possibly show us the thumb ring on the back? Because Anita, I told Anita.
Oh yeah, sure. So let's see, I'm going to wipe this out. So they've got a lot of color in there. So let me just quickly wipe this out so I don't make a huge mess of things. There we are. So I love this little thing because you got that, and then you have this little thumb, pick whatever you want to use it. But anyway, I guess it could be my first, holds it in your hand. So if you're somewhere, you know, you can just take it out and do your thing, paint like this, little palm, holds it in your palm, and then it won't fall out. So it won't fall out. So is that what you wanted me to show, Phoebe?
Yeah, I was just mentioning, because actually Anita mentioned in the comments, it looks like it would be great for traveling on the go, which 100% Anita, that was like one of the first things we thought when we started developing this. But yeah, then I mentioned it had a little thumb ring and she wanted to see how it looked.
And the cool thing, you've got your mixing tray here and over here. You can put if you have other half pans that you want to bring along, let's say you've got the 12 and then you want some glittery ones or some of your favorite colors, you can stick this in this channel. Or there are some travel brushes that actually can be cut in half, you know, they're smaller than, I don't know which ones I have that would, but then this one, the big one, is going to fit your water brush inside, which I think is really cool, because then you can just take it with you and you are ready to go. All you need is paper. And it also has the same.
That. Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, awesome. Exclamation mark. That's how we feel about these.
And then you can even put like a little sponge right here, you know, just like cut up a little sponge and stick it right there. And then you can use that to clean your brush. And I like that they're very heavy duty tin. I've seen a lot of them very flimsy. These are nice heavy duty, you know, they're not going to just fall apart. They're very, very heavy. So they're very nice. Okay. Moving on. So I'm going to do the, there we go. This is the one I intended to do. So to make a card envelope, because this is a whole gift. It's the gift, you know, complete gift. It's not just, nothing is store-bought here. We're, you know, except for the paper, I guess. But basically we're going to complete the whole thing ensemble with an envelope. So what I've got here, and if you've been watercoloring, you should always, I always try to keep my watercolors away from my origami because, it just doesn't work out so well. So now with this one, it's a 6-inch piece of paper, and I'm going to start my fold, and this is very simple. I'm going to start my fold, and it's just at an angle. I can do whatever, you know, side I want. I'm going to go here. I'm not going to fold it all the way up. I'm just started folding it at an angle. That's my first fold. And you could make it go this way, up higher, whatever you want to do. what's going to happen is the next edge. So we've got this edge, I fold it in. Then the next edge, I'm going to fold it to meet the edge I just folded. So, and I'm doing it right to meet it so that it kisses it basically right there. But it also, I'm going to take a little, I'm going to pivot my hand out. If you can see the motion of my hand, I'm keeping this edge tight to the edge. And then this one, I'm flaring out just a tiny hair, like a tiny, tiny bit. And I'm going to show you the difference when I put it underneath a piece of paper. Let's see if I can grab one. You can see when I'm showing you, you can see how it touches the bottom, but there's a slight spacing, a very slight spacing at the top. That's going to be important to have that. And then I'm going to go ahead and crease it. So now just show you that tightness down here and a little spacing. But then the next thing is we're going to take this bottom edge. We're going to fold the bottom edge up, and it doesn't matter where you start it, but it just needs to be at a good, maybe over an inch up. And I'm just lining up these edges. That's all I'm doing, lining up the sides. And there it is like that. So I've got this part here. This is here. Now you're going to take your card and you're going to put it inside, but you don't have to put it inside, but just put it inside so that you can see that it fits. And if you need to trim anything, you would do it now, but this is how that will fit. And then you're going to fold this edge down as far as it'll go, fold it down. Now open it up and open the card, open it up and put your card inside. Close it up. I'm just going to get it back on there. It's a little fat, so it's going to be different. It's going to feel different. Now you've got a tab and a pocket. So I'm going to take the tab and I'm going to insert it into this pocket. These little, just needs to be inserted so that it locks in. And that's why you needed that slightly narrower bottom than the top. Otherwise it just buckles up. So it takes a little work to get this, especially on this small piece. And I'm going to just slide that in. There it is, it's in. And now it's locked. It's locked in. So you can see you're good. Now, if you wanted to put a little washi tape, that would be pretty, but it's unnecessary. It's locked in. You just kind of have to score around like this, and it's good. So then what I always like to do is figure out a color that I like. I've got this pretty pink gel pen, and I'm just going to write, same thing. I'm going to do the lettering like I did before. I'm going to write my handwriting, just like that. Use your own handwriting. And then I'm going to take where the downstroke, every place that I went down with my pen, that's going to be thickened, about double the thickness of the first stroke. So there's one downstroke there. Here's a downstroke here. And here's another one. And this actually just really changes your lettering. It's so much fun. So there's a downstroke. So I'm going to look for wherever I went downward. So there, I went down this way. I'm going to thicken it right there. And there's downstroke here, and one more downstroke right there. And look at the difference with the lettering. It just makes it look so much more interesting. And now I'm just going to put a little heart because why not?
Everyone loves this envelope fold.
What?
Oh, everybody loves this envelope fold that you just showed us.
Yeah, now you can do this with all types of papers. So any rectangle, let's see, I'm going to show you real quick because it's on a white piece of paper. Let me grab a sheet of paper. I'll just do the white one. Hopefully you can see it. But let's say you have a sheet of typing paper and you want to make an envelope. Or you have a scrap, some old paper or you have some jelly prints that you have, or you have you have a rectangle. This is how you do the same thing. You're going to fold this paper, take the bottom edge, fold it at an angle like that. And then you're going to fold the other short edge to meet that edge you just made, which I think is great. Now this is the size of your artwork. So this will be the width of your card. So you can always pre-fold your envelopes. Here, I'm going to do it just like this. Same way, except it's a rectangle rather than a square. Excuse me. And now I'm going to do the same thing. Tuck it in. You can actually take a letter you've already typed and you don't need to fold an envelope at all. You save yourself the envelope, fold it, and then put a little seal on it and send it, because this is, US Post Office will accept this size. I think it's, I'm gonna try to remember this size. I believe it's, no, that's, there we go, 0. I think it's 5.5 or 5.25 is the size that a USPS will take, and that fits the bill right there. So you can just do a, you know, don't even have to save yourself an envelope and just seal this side here, this open edge. Just put a little piece of tape across and address it. So that saves paper. So there is the gift. Well, let's see. I'm going to show you how so that one's done now. So I'm going to show you, if you do have, if you just want to fold it in half, you can do that, or you can score it, the card. And I actually have this little, bought this thing recently, and I think it's fabulous. I have to find the in-between, since it's 5, let's see. Let's show you. Gonna grab that ruler again, wherever it went. Everything's everywhere, as always. There we go. I've got another ruler, and there it is. Okay, so 5 inches. It's 5 inches long. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to just put a little mark, just a tiny, tiny little mark, so that I can see the where I need to make that score line. So 5. So I need to do it at 2.5, right? Just a little tiny mark there. I don't think you guys can see it, but if you're doing a card and you have a score, if you're using watercolor paper and you're using a score tool that has an indent like this, what you want to do is when you're scoring, always score on the back side, not on the front side of the card, but on the back. Okay. We'll find out. I forgot. Oh, I'm just going to do it. All right, there we go. There's the score, and I'm going to just fold it. There we are, perfectly. It's got a nice edge. So basically, I scored inside, and it makes a very clean edge. Don't always have to do that, but it just makes it nice and easy. And there's our card, and then you can always insert if you feel like you wanted to do your lettering beforehand, and you could just stick glue a piece of paper. Like this would be kind of fun, is to just take do a smaller piece and then just glue it inside. But you've got a really fun little Mother's Day gift with everything included: flowers, card, and envelope, and you're good. So that's it for today. Phoebe, is there anybody have any questions?
I don't see any questions, but I think that is beautiful. That's so cute.
I know, I want it. I'm just gonna put it on my table.
I love it. I have like 1 tulip and a card and an envelope out of this.
So you were able to do it? Awesome.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, and I think that I really like the long, now that I'm looking at my flowers, I'm going to always make them with the long leaves rather than the short 2-inch ones, just because I think it looks more elegant.
I agree. I think I never really noticed that until you pointed it out.
And you know, doing it so many times, and I just said, try it, because having the real tulips, seeing the ones that you have, Phoebe, it inspired me to do, well, I need to be more realistic, because there they are. So we've got our own, and now we just spray a little perfume on it, or we can just really.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, these are much fun. So I'm hoping everybody, if you're a mom, have a happy Mother's Day on Sunday. And if you're not a mom and you want to give your mom something, look what you can do. You can give your mom flowers, or if you have friends that are moms, you can give flowers to your friends instead of a whole bouquet. But there you are.
Oh, thank you all so much. Gail, Melinda, Janice, say thank you as well in the comments. Thank you, Karen, for this awesome demo. This is I love your demos. This is such a cute and fun one, though.
That was fun. That was fun. We'll do this again in a couple of weeks. Something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, what does Anita say? She says she would put the origami tulip on top of a pen. That's so cute.
Oh, that's a great. So, Anita, you would put it on top, on this part of the pen or on the back? Just curious.
I love that idea.
That would be cute, because this big one, how I see pens in like a bank or something, they put the pins, they decorate the pins. But so yeah, you can do the same thing with a
Oh,
like a
yeah.
stick pin. You could do the same thing, and then yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh,
Oh, I
that'd be
love
cute.
that. I'm gonna. Oh,
Little card.
Jamie, that looks so cool.
I'm
Yes.
letting it dry.
So we have our
My
little,
envelope.
we have our flowers.
Oh, so cute. And you
It's
have your
fun.
flower pin. I love it.
Oh, and I'll keep
Oh,
doing, you can add like this one. I don't know how many, it didn't take me long to make these either. I mean, it was really pretty quick.
yeah. I like that fold a lot. It's really, I can remember it.
It's very simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anita says she would put the tulip on top of the cap.
Okay, on top of the cap. Thank you, Anita.
Need a pen.
Thanks for the good idea. Love it.
Love that.
And everybody
Thank you
else, I don't know
very
who's here, but I want to say hello and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. We're happy to just do some art on a Friday afternoon, make some crafts. I really love this. It's so cute.
It's really, you did a great job.
Thank you. I'm very proud of this. I didn't have the pure. I just used the regular.
It's gorgeous. I like the white on the inside. Now I'm like changing my, anyway, it looks good with anything. Yeah, that's beautiful.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a really nice one. The shape is so elegant. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Together with a real one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much. Oh, thank you, Steve365. I think it's cute too. Well, all right, everybody. Thank you for joining us and have a good weekend, like Karen said. And we'll see you in the next YouTube Live.
Yeah.
All right.
Take
Bye,
care,
everybody.
everybody. Bye-bye.